Okay, guys. Hey, everybody. This is Susan Delano. I'm the Vice President for Enrollment at Ursuline College. We're really happy that you can join us today. You know that you've signed up for a presentation from the School of Art and Sciences. We're really excited to have great faculty who've taken the time to meet and chat with you today. You can advance the slide. So I just want to give you a reminder at the end of our overviews, we're going to have a question and answer period. You can use your chat function or press Alt-8 to chat your questions, and then I will relay those to our faculty panelists. And for more information on upcoming virtual visits, make sure you check our website, ursuline.edu/visit. We'll be having these throughout the next couple months on various topics. And if you aren't able to see them live, we are posting them all on our YouTube channel, so you can watch the recorded version of these. So with that, I want to quickly introduce our panelists. With us today, we have Dr. Beth Cavron. She's our Dean of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Sarah Preston, she's our department chairperson in chemistry. Dr. Mimi Pepino, she's an associate professor of English and then also director of our core curriculum. Dr. Edmonds, chair of psychology, and Professor Jen Schwartz, who is chair of our art therapy program. So with that, I want to turn it over to Beth. Okay.
School is. We have a number of majors in this school. We have art therapy, art and design. We have the sciences, psychology, chemistry, biology, math. We have history, criminology, and English. And what brings all of these programs together is that they're not majors that require 60, 70 hours in major. They're kind of tiny, which allows you to double major and add a minor. For example, you can be a psychology and art therapy major. You could be a biology major and add women's studies minor with an English minor. So you can tailor your learning to what you like and what you're passionate about. And that's the best part of arts and sciences. Also in the fall, we are really excited, or at least I'm very excited. We have a new program starting in the fall called Exercise Science, and that is the study of movement. It's brand new. When you're on campus in the fall, hopefully everyone can get to campus. The new lab is on the 3rd floor of Dobby, and we are building it as we speak. If you like, or you think you might want to go into OT or PT or athletic training, or maybe cardiac rehab, even medical school, this is the major for you. If you want to be a personal trainer, or you wanted to get a strength and conditioning certificate, you could take a minor and end up with those certificates. The idea of arts and sciences is that you can build your own degree, and that's who we are. And you're gonna meet some great faculty now. Susan?
Okay, good. We're gonna turn it over to Dr. Sarah Preston, and Sarah's gonna give us an overview of the chemistry department and sciences.
Hi, we have 2 majors offered by the chemistry department. One of them is chemistry and the other one is biochemistry. Chemistry offers 5 areas of chemistry classes: inorganic, organic, biochemistry, analytical, and physical. The biochemistry major was designed to match well with the course requirements for medical school. It includes a full year of biochemistry, the foundational chemistry courses, plus the foundational biology series, and then students are allowed to choose upper level biology and chemistry classes to fill out their major. The chemistry major also offers a scholarship called the Mulhausen Scholarship. Priority is given to chemistry and biochemistry majors, and it is a $5,000 renewable scholarship up to 4 years. Students who are interested are automatically considered if they're eligible. So you don't have to fill out a certain essay or anything extra when you apply for the college. This year, we've also had a very exciting opportunity for our upper level students. Nova Chemical Company is a local chemical company that is supporting a research scholarship. So students are getting paid this year to do research. And so we're hoping to have continued support for that. We've also recently received support from the Lubrizol Foundation, which is another chemical company that's headquartered in Cleveland. And that has allowed us to purchase a benchtop NMR. So students can use this in the teaching labs, they can use this in their research. And we also have a number of updates in our labs. We've had 3 of our 4 laboratories be updated in the last few years. Brand new hoods, plenty of space, brand new facilities there. As far as instrumentation goes, we have a number of other instruments, including our NMR, that students get direct access to hands-on for their classes when they're taking labs, as well as when they're doing one-on-one research in our campus with a professor. So we do have an IR, we have a UV vis, an AA, a fluorimeter, and a GC for students to use. So that's pretty much it for our facilities and classes. As far as what our students do, I'll give you 2 examples. We've had our very first chemistry major. She was a biology major to start and added chemistry as a double major. She was also an athlete. She ended up getting a PhD in polymer science from Akron and got an NSF fellowship while she was there. She currently works for WH Gore in Arizona, which is the company that makes Gore-Tex, and she's an adjunct instructor at Arizona State. A more recent graduate, she graduated with a BA in chemistry, and she immediately began working as a laboratory technician for Houghton International in Strongsville. So those are just some things that you can think about with careers in chemistry. So that is all I have. I will turn it back over to Susan.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Preston. So now we're going to move on to Dr. Mimi Pepino. She is our Associate Professor of English, but she also chairs as Director of the core curriculum. So perhaps she can give you a quick overview of our core curriculum as well. So, thank you.
Hello, everyone, and we're so excited that you are here with the School of Arts and Sciences this afternoon. We appreciate your being here. Yes, I'm Dr. Mimi Pepino, as Susan told you, and my primary role at the college is as Director of the core curriculum, but I'll save that exciting stuff towards the end. I'm going to talk about the English major first. The English major, as you might expect, involves a lot of reading of great literature, poetry, fiction, nonfiction. We do have creative writing courses. You will be doing lots of writing, writing lots of papers, but you will also have opportunities if you want to write fiction, nonfiction, and poetry as part of your coursework as well. We do have some really exciting, unique features of our program, though small. One thing we're very proud of is our relationship with the Anisfield Wolf Book Award program, which has now been going for some 80+ years. And it's the only national juried book award program that awards prizes to works that focus on issues of social justice, inclusion, multiculturalism, and diversity. Past winners of the award include writers such as Zora Neale Hurston, Toni Morrison, Martin Luther King, Isabel Allende, Sonia Sanchez, some names you may be familiar with. The award ceremony is held every year downtown in Cleveland's gorgeous Playhouse Square, and we can take students for free to meet the authors and hear about their works. Another recent winner you may be familiar with is Margot Shetterly, who wrote Hidden Figures, which was made into a really terrific film just a few years ago. We have also developed a course dedicated to the Anisfield Wolf canon, and you can take that as part of your work in the major. Another terrific opportunity that is unique to our program is Ursuline's sponsorship of the Cleveland International Film Festival, which unfortunately this year had to be canceled, but the college sponsors films. We also have a film course that we time to coincide with that film festival. And again, it offers you another really unique opportunity to learn about great films and filmmaking, but also have this great opportunity to attend films from all over the world. We also have an award-winning, nationally award-winning fine arts magazine called Inscape, and this is last year's version, as you can see, and it is creative work, visual and verbal, by faculty, staff, and students that we publish every year. And you can contribute to the magazine, or you can actually be a part of the editorial staff that creates the magazine. We've also been fortunate enough to earn 2 really terrific grants in the last year, one from the Modern Language Association and another from the National Endowment for the Humanities. And that has allowed us to create a very specific set of opportunities for our students, staff, and faculty around the notion of Rust Belt Revival, Cleveland Divided. And it's a series of, we've just had an online symposium that you can check out at www.ursuline.edu/NEH if you're interested in that. But it's dedicated to looking at Cleveland through the lens of social justice and the arts and humanities, and includes opportunities like story mapping, public-facing scholarship, podcasting. We do have a podcasting lab now in our library that our students have made wonderful use of as well. So those are some unique opportunities that are associated with our program. Recent graduates, again, most people think, what can you do with English? Are you going to be a teacher? Well, certainly that's one option, and a number of our students do end up as education majors specializing in language arts. But we've also had a number of students go on to law school. We have a student who's currently a reporter for her local newspaper. We've had students go into marketing and public relations, communications, human resources. English is an extremely versatile major. It gives you all kinds of wonderful skills. And as Dr. Cameron mentioned earlier, it's also a major that pairs beautifully with other majors in the arts and sciences and gives you a really broad range of very marketable skills. So I guess that's it. The core curriculum, I'll talk about that very briefly. English, of course, is a part of that. And that is the part of the curriculum every student must take regardless of major. And it gives you a common intellectual and academic experience with all Ursuline students, regardless of your major. And we actually have, I believe, a YouTube video posted where I talk a little bit more in detail about that if you're interested in finding out more. I'll turn it back over to Susan.
Okay, thank you. So next up we have Dr. Christopher Edmonds. He is professor and chairperson of psychology.
Well, welcome to everyone out there who decided to join us for this Zoom meeting. This is a fascinating way to get a sample of the huge variety of programs offered at Ursuline College. The psychology department advantage that you get at Ursuline College really revolves around 3 different factors. One of them is curriculum, the other are opportunities you will have, and the third is relationships. So starting out, the psychology department has a very flexible curriculum that allows you to achieve the goals that you have for yourself. If you want to have a career in psychology, you need to go to graduate school. It's like being pre-med or pre-law or pre-dentistry, you need the professional program. For students who want to get a bachelor's degree in psychology and stop, there are a tremendous number of opportunities available to you. For those of you who want to go on to graduate school in psychology, there are many opportunities as well. And we've tailored our curriculum for both of those different tracks. And we call that the applied track, or the graduate school track. Also within the curriculum, we have 4 unique program clusters that you are not likely to find anywhere else. One of them is called clinical forensic psychology. Clinical psychology is basically dealing with psychopathology, psychiatric illnesses. The forensic side of it is psychology applied to law. So these licensed psychologists would work in correctional facilities, work as expert witnesses in the court system and so forth. And to support that cluster, that topic of clinical forensic psychology, we have a course called forensic psychology. You're probably not going to find that anywhere else. We have another called profiling violent offenders. You're probably not going to find that anywhere else. We also have personality disorders and criminal behavior. You're probably not going to find that anywhere else. And these are in addition to the standard abnormal psychology classes that every college or university has. So if you have an interest in clinical psychology, specifically clinical forensic psychology, we're the place to be. Other program clusters include experimental cognitive psychology, which is basically researching human thought processes, learning, memory, decision-making, problem-solving, language. Another is school psychology, so psychological applications in the educational system. School psychologists are not the people who help you make your schedules in high school, but they are rather the people who develop individual educational plans for students who need that type of support. And then a fourth cluster in the department is we have an industrial organizational psychology cluster of courses. IO, industrial organizational, is psychology applied to the business world. If you think of business as an organism, there are a multitude of psychological principles that we can apply to the business, to the workplace, to make it function better. Imagine one company is buying another, they all have to get along better. How can we do that? We use psychology to do that. IO psychologists would do assessment, job placement of people, human work and human resources as well. So even just within the curriculum, we have these different clusters, the clinical forensic track, experimental cognitive, the school psych, as well as the industrial organizational. And you can choose whether you want to go the graduate school track or get a bachelor's degree using the applied track. Also within the psychology department, very unusual, we have what is called departmental honors in psychology. So in addition to earning a bachelor's degree in psychology in the end, if you meet certain criteria based upon your grade point average, based upon external scores that we can talk about a little bit later, as well as research presentations, you may have added to your transcript departmental honors in psychology. If you are particularly interested in graduate school, this helps you stand out from all of the other people who want to have that graduate school experience as well. In addition to departmental honors, we have membership in Psych-Hi, the International Honor Society in Psychology. Again, that's available to qualified folks. We have dedicated lab facilities. We are in one of the newest academic buildings on campus, and we have a dedicated classroom as well as laboratory facilities in there where all of our research is done. This leads me into talking about research. I think one of the hallmarks of our program is the opportunity for undergraduate students to do novel research. And what I mean by novel is you design it, you collect the data, you analyze it, you write it up, and you present it at conferences. Most undergraduate students will never have that opportunity in a psychology major. Every psychology program has one research course. We have 3. So if you want to have that research experience, if you want to make yourself more competitive in the application process for graduate school, we encourage you to take as many of the research classes as you possibly can. We had one student several years ago who had applied for graduate school. She received interviews at several institutions, and it was a cattle call for that day. There were probably 20 undergraduates being interviewed that particular day, and that was only one day of several days. And she walked into the office, and the faculty person pulled out her application, started looking at it, and then his eyes lit up. And he said, "I see you're going to Chicago to present your research project at the Midwestern Psychological Association. Tell me about it." That experience allowed her to stand out from all the people that faculty person saw that day, as well as the ones that faculty person saw the other days. I am pleased to say that particular student has finished her doctorate. She is now a psychology professor in Central Ohio and doing quite well. We do things in the psychology department to help you stand out, to make your talents and abilities evident to other people as you wish to develop your career pathways. We attend several conferences, undergraduate conferences, where you can present your research and add to your resume. The Ohio Undergraduate Psychology Conference is one, which rotates around the state of Ohio. Another I mentioned is in Chicago, the Midwestern Psychological Association. I'm also pleased to tell you that if you conduct this novel research, if you get it accepted, we support the cost of your attendance. And so we are very much behind you. We have your back in the development of professional opportunities for yourself. Not surprisingly, many of our students want to go to graduate school in psychology this year alone, and I don't have the list in front of me, but I think we have students accepted to 5 different doctoral programs in psychology and at least as many master's programs in counseling and forensic psychology as well. So they did all the right things. They took advantage of all the opportunities made available to them in the department, and they are realizing their goals, their career paths. In psychology, we also have some specific scholarships related to the major. One in particular is supporting our folks who go to the conferences, and that is where we get that money. So I told you early on that our unique factor in the psychology department is the curriculum. I hope I've made my case for that. Opportunities, clearly there are some opportunities available that you'll not find anywhere else. And then finally, relationships. I've left that to the end. We are a small school. We will know all of our students. We will know you by name. We will know how you're doing, and we will keep track of you long after you leave, because you're not just someone passing through our courses. And the relationships that I have with my students from many years ago are stronger than they were when they were students, because we've grown professionally together. The career outlook for a psychology major at the bachelor's level, there's expected growth of 22%, specifically in substance abuse counseling, mental health counseling, 22% growth over the next 10 years. That's huge. In psychologist at the doctoral level, growth is faster than average at 14% over the next 10 years. So clearly there are job opportunities available for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. That's, all of you are sharing such really great information with our guest today. So now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Jen Schwartz. Jen oversees our art therapy department. Jen?
Hey, thanks, Susan. I'm not actually a doctor, but thank you for that little promotion. But I'm really pleased to be here. I've been teaching here at Ursuline for a number of years, and am an alumni, excuse me, of the psychology department. You just heard from Dr. Edmonds about the great psychology department. I agree. There's so much you can do with that degree, and it's just really a wonderful place to grow. I'm here to tell you about the art therapy program. I am a credentialed art therapist, as well as being a professor here at Ursuline. And a lot of people don't really know what art therapy is about, or maybe they think they know, they have kind of an idea. So I'm just going to start with a little overview of what the work of art therapy is all about. Artwork has always helped humans in our quest to survive and cope with life's challenges since the dawn of time. You can look at the cave paintings, the ancient prehistoric cave paintings in Lascaux, and look at the stories that are told there. And you can see how humans have always used art to survive and cope with a brutal world. And so the field of art therapy really is about studying those benefits and how they can be applied to various problems that humans face in settings where people who have challenges go for help. So art therapists work in this mental health profession in a variety of psychiatric settings, in a variety of trauma-based settings, in a variety of medical settings, in a variety of school settings, and also in wellness settings. You can find art therapists making artwork with clients, participants for a variety of, to address a variety of emotional, cognitive, social, and physical wellness goals. To become an art therapist, just as you heard Dr. Edmonds speak about the field of psychology, entry level for the work of art therapy is a master's degree. So here in the undergraduate art therapy program, we are for the most part, preparing students to be successful in graduate study in art therapy or art therapy and counseling. About half, a little over half of our students do go on to study art therapy in graduate school right away. Some people wait a little while and then go on to graduate school after they've had a chance to work out in the field. But some students decide that art therapy study or graduate study is not for them, and they want to go work, apply their skills in other settings that don't require that kind of advanced degree. And so those folks find work in places, in various mental health agencies and education and special needs settings that don't require that advanced training or that license. For example, we just had one student who is actually a senior right now about to graduate. She did a field placement working in a setting that was a kind of a halfway house for women who were recovering from substance abuse. She ended up getting hired by that organization in an entry-level position and has been working there for the last year and just got promoted to the house manager of this facility. So, and you know, that is a student that's currently in our program and about to graduate. So that's the kind of work that you can find with an undergraduate in art therapy. It's really a pre-professional program. So our program, we have a major in art therapy, or you can minor in art therapy if you want to pick up a minor. The major is 51 credits, the minor is 21 credits. Our major is made up of primarily courses in the art department, 21 credits of art, studio art. And we really want our students to be artists first and artists in their core. We want our students to be proficient in working with a variety of visual art media, including drawing and painting and sculpture, and all kinds of traditional fine arts like that. We have 12 credits in our program out of the psychology department. So every graduate school in the field of art therapy will require this minimum 12 credits of basic psychology courses. And so we have those as part of our major. And then 18 credits in art therapy coursework. And those credits will cover, those courses will cover information about the history and theory of art therapy, about art media and methods, the things that art therapists do and use that are different from things that art teachers use, different from things that fine artists use, that really work to make artwork accessible to regular people who don't have art training or don't consider themselves artists. We want to really put art in people's hands and allow people to really experience the benefits of making art, because art is just, it's healthy. It's a healthy human behavior. It always has been. I kind of think of it as like eating fresh fruit. You know, you need to do it every day. It's good for your body. And if we make a little art every day, if we find a way of being creative, then that's also good for our physical and mental health. In addition, in our courses, our students develop skills in what we like to call aesthetic fluency, which means that our students are really good at expressing themselves using art and are good at looking at other people's artwork and really getting a sense of what that person is, what their strengths are, what they may be struggling with, and being able to talk about art as well and talk about other people's art with them. So this is kind of an aesthetic fluency skill that we're addressing. Our students develop really good communication skills, not just in addition to writing, which is an important creative communication skill, also the interpersonal communication skills that we need to have in order to work in a human services profession. Also developing professional presentation skills and professional communication skills as well. So writing research papers and presenting at conferences, also part of our program. And one of the main skills that our students are developing in our art therapy courses is called community art facilitation. This is really the groundwork that prepares students to become art therapists. How do you run an art group that's going to be successful for people with special needs? How do you run an art group that's going to be successful for anybody? So we teach our students the fundamentals of that, and we have 2 courses where our students get to go out in the community and work as an assistant to either an art therapist or a qualified art facilitator out in a community organization that, that serves people in some way. So we have a 200 level course called Art Facilitation with Diverse Populations, and we have a senior level course that's a field placement where our students go out and get really good experience and really wonderful mentoring that happens where we pair our students with supervisors in these agencies who become professional mentors for them for the rest of their lives, really. So our students get to work in a variety of educational settings with these 2 placements. A few schools across town, working with people with physical challenges, mental health challenges, or just in regular school classes. There are a number of art therapists working out in schools that are functioning as art teachers in their schools. And so our students get a chance to work with those folks. Our students work also in some art gallery and art studio type settings out in the community. And our students work in various elder care facilities across Greater Cleveland. Our undergraduate program grew out of our graduate counseling and art therapy program that is over 30 years old. And all of those graduates of our counseling and art therapy program are out working in the community. And so we get to pair our students, our current students, with professionals that are working in the field. So there is already a huge network of mentors and a whole variety of settings that our students can have an opportunity to work within and learn from. So that's one part of our program that really makes us special and unique. We also are housed in a very new building. The Parker Hannafin Center for Healing and Creative Arts and Sciences is just a few years old. And our classes are held on the top floor of that with lots of studio space, lots of art supplies. We have a kiln there, we have printmaking, we have collage, we have fiber art. I have a whole room of fiber art, which is my personal passion. So lots of different creative processes to learn about and explore and begin to learn how to help others do as well. So I think those are the high points. Thank you for listening. Thank you for this opportunity. And if you have any questions, I'd love to talk more with you sometime. So thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you all. That was great information. If I was a prospective student, I'd want to major in all of them. You did a really great job in selling and your program. So thanks again. So now we're going to open it up to questions. If you can enable your chat function at the bottom of your screen. Also, if you don't have that enabled, you can Alt-H to post any questions you might have for the faculty. I will be asking them. The first question that we have, I'm going to direct it to Dr. Kavrin. And this is from Selena. As Selena asks, are there any special programs with direct entry into graduate programs at Ursuline?
Yes, so we have direct admissions to some pharmacy schools. We are working with LECOM for medical and dental. We have not so much direct admit, but we have a 3+2 with Catholic University and Cleveland State for law. There is an LSAT requirement there, but we've had success there. We have a relationship that Jennifer Schwartz talked about to our graduate art therapy program. I think it's we have 2 different versions, a 3+2 and then maybe a 3.5+2. So there are options, and it's always good to start that discussion with your academic advisor early.
Okay, let's see, let me hit the chat. Okay, Sanibel asks, for psychology, are there internships? And this is directed to Dr. Edmonds.
Thank you. Students often ask about internships. In psychology, internships have some very specific meanings with some very specific supervision responsibilities. Due to licensing, psychology does not have internships at the undergraduate level. However, we do encourage our students to have volunteer experiences which look exactly the same way on your resume when you apply for jobs and apply for graduate schools. So typically our juniors and seniors are volunteering in the community at a huge variety of places to get those experiences.
Thank you. Okay, this question is from Leah, and I'm going to direct it to Dr. Preston. Dr. Preston, can you talk a little bit about how pre-med students are advised?
So for Ursuline, we have individual advisors. So it will depend on your major. If you decide to major in chemistry or biochemistry, but your plans are to go to medical school, you will have an advisor in the chemistry department. If you decide to major in biology or English or any other major, you will have an advisor in that department. That's not to say that we don't consult each other. Especially in the STEM areas, we work very closely together and make sure that we're planning the career path for our student, that gets them where they want to go.
Okay, good, thank you. I'll direct this one. Let's see. This one is asking, what is it like to be a student athlete and a business major? So let me just direct that to, let's see, Dr. Pepino.
I mean, athletes definitely have a unique challenge compared to the rest of the students. They have literally and figuratively lots of balls in the air, trying to, maintain their training schedule, their game schedule, and their studies. Again, I'll actually go back to what Dr. Edmonds was saying about relationships. That's the great thing about being at a small school. You cultivate these really great relationships with your professors who will work with you to help you be successful so that as an athlete, you don't miss out on great academic opportunities and vice versa. Our faculty are very dedicated. We love our athletes. Honestly, most of the time they show some of the best time management skills that we see because they have to keep so many things in balance. And, generally we've had really great success in helping our athletes graduate on time and graduate successfully, no matter what major they choose.
Thank you. I'm going to direct this question back to Dr. Cavern. And Dr. Cavern, can you talk a little bit about what it's like for undecided students, for students who aren't quite sure what they want to major in?
Sure. As Dr. Pepino and Dr. Edmonds both said, relationships are really important here. And so if you're undecided, we still just start developing those relationships. You will still get an advisor who will meet with you and will help you navigate and find out what you're excited to study, what's your passion, what you're curious about, and get you in those programs. We also have career support where you can go and talk with them, take some tests, find out maybe some skills that you have that you could turn into a career or graduate school. And again, it's relationships. We are all here to support you. Undecided, that's great. You most likely will still get out in 4 years if you're an arts and sciences major. I would not worry about finding a major before you come to campus. Pick the campus and come here and we'll help you find what you're good at and what excites you.
Could I jump in on that, Susan? As
Sure.
director of the core.
Yes.
That is part of the value of our core curriculum. If you come here and you like lots of things, but you're not really sure where that might take you, those courses give you opportunities to experience disciplines, maybe in things you never even thought about before. And that's how, a lot of times, that's how students discover what they're good at. The other piece, and Dr. Cavern alluded to this, we actually now have built into 2 of our core seminars a piece we call Career Fit. And you take assessments that evaluate your strengths, your skills, your personality type, and your values. You get to meet one-on-one with a career coach who will help guide you using all of that information. So if you do have some uncertainty or you think you know what you want to do, but you'd like to have other options, that's all built right into our core curriculum. So that's another opportunity you have to explore lots of different options.
Great. Okay, this is from Sanibel, and this will be directed to Jen. For art therapy, art and design, are there photography courses or opportunities?
Yes, yes, there are. We have digital photography is a 100 level course that's taught out of the art and design department. That course is part of the art therapy major as well. And though there's also visual communication design courses taught out of the art and design department. And those 100 level courses all are tiered. So if it's a skill that you're interested in advancing and developing further, you can take the next course up and the next course up beyond that. So yes, but we don't have traditional darkroom photography. It's exclusively digital photography and digital tools.
I'm going to jump back to the athlete question. I'm going to direct it to Dr. Edmonds. I think you were waving your hand as if you wanted to say something, so we'll give you that opportunity now.
Oh, well, thank you. I wanted to make a point that students who are athletes and are also academics, faculty work very close with the athletic department to make certain everything works out. We have worked very hard as a faculty to make the courses that you need available to you long before your practices start. So we're not saying you have to pick one or the other. We're saying we're in this together. We know that when you travel, you may have to leave on Friday or maybe even on Thursday. We work with you to make certain you get the content that you need if you miss those days in class. So it's not an either or at all. I think we've had athletics now for over 20 years, and that's the way it's always been. Student athletes, you can be both, you can be successful at both. You're really good at time management, but why not? Because having both is a wonderful way to enrich your life.
Wonderful, thank you. I don't see any other questions. I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. Okan, if you could advance to the next slide, I think there are some resources that you'll have access to. Please don't forget to join us on Instagram and Facebook. We're always posting new things out there. Fun things like introducing our newest class members, the class of 2020, also transfer students entering in the fall, as well as our second degree nursing. So it's a fun way to get to know your classmates early on through Instagram. And we'll check back our Connect to Ursuline site. We will be posting new virtual sessions as well as ways for you to connect to our recorded sessions. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I know you have a lot of things going on in your lives right now, and it means a lot to us in enrollment that all of you have taken time to share your knowledge and your enthusiasm for your programs with our prospective students. So with that, I'm going to say good night and sign off, and everyone be safe and healthy.